Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this reading for the full moon in Taurus lunar eclipse. For those who are new, hello and welcome in. It is wonderful to have you here. If you want to learn more about these readings and how to get the most out of them, you can check out the tutorial video I created to catch you up on all of the amazing things that we do in these readings and the best practices I recommend for getting the most out of the information that's coming through and understanding where this information is coming from. Essentially your spiritual support team, but we get more into that in the introduction video. For those who are not new, hello and welcome back. It is lovely to have you here. I appreciate you. I'm honored to show up and serve you in this way as we together navigate the astrological cycles and understand more about our own astrology and to use the spiritual tools of the cards to connect with our support team on the regular, to honor these cycles and to get the most out of them so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. So let's talk first about full moon energy. Full moon energy is the energy of the fullness of a cycle. It's a celebratory energy. So with full moons, we tend to focus on the things that we are celebrating under the theme of the sign that the moon is full in. Now, a full moon is always in the sign that's opposite wherever the sun is right now. So right now, the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, and the opposite of Scorpio in the astrological story is Taurus. Before we get more into the Taurus energies, this is not just a full moon. This is a full moon lunar eclipse. So the energy of this cycle is a little bit different than our typical full moon energies. Typically, a full moon energy vibration cycle information will last us 28 days until the next full moon that we have. However, eclipses are more powerful, more punctuated energies that have longer cycles. They can be from 6 months to a year. So this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus cycle is going to last us a year. And so it's going to take us from when the full moon happens on November 8th all the way to when the next full moon eclipse happens October 28th next year, 2023. So this is a year-long celebration that we are being invited into when it comes to the Taurus themes. Now, the Taurus energy is the second sign of our zodiac story. It's what's called a fixed sign. Fixed signs represent the fullness of a season. So in the Northern Hemisphere, Taurus happens during the season of spring. It represents the fullness of the spring energy and archetype. It has the element of the earth. So earth elements in our zodiac story represents the material world. It represents the physical realm. And so we have with the Taurus energy this beautiful vibration and focus on values, material possessions, the environment, and the earth. So these are the themes that the Taurus archetype and energy brings up and brings into the zodiac story and into our lives to explore on a deeper way. It's a contrasting energy to the Scorpio vibration, which is the season that we're in. The energies that are opposite each other are always going to be in the same, what's called modality. So Scorpio is also a fixed sign, but it represents the fullness of the season of fall. So we have the fullness of spring opposite the fullness of fall, creating this dichotomy and complementary yet opposing energies. Scorpio is the energy of water, whereas Taurus is the energy of earth. So Scorpio is more concerned about the emotional realm, is more concerned about diving deep into the fullness of our emotions, where Taurus energy is really fixed and wants to stay on the material plane in the earth and is concerned with the practical, physical realm. So as we are going to move into this cycle with this lunar eclipse, we are going to be celebrating with the full moon energy this Taurus vibration, so values, when it comes to our own values of who we are, what we value in a practical way in our lives, what we find supportive, and what helps to ground us in this experience of life. We're going to be celebrating that with the Angel Therapy deck by Doreen Virtue. So even if you don't believe in angels, your spiritual support team, whoever they may be, is going to help bring guidance to you through the Angel Therapy deck. You are going to be watching only one reading for this lunar phase. There's a lot going on. If you haven't watched the new moon solar eclipse reading for the new moon in Scorpio, I recommend watching that because that's a whole nother cycle that we're in right now that has very, very powerful energies playing out in our lives, and it's going to help us navigate the things that are coming up in our sphere. But this reading, you are only going to watch for where the moon shows up in your chart. So you're going to look for this symbol right here. And this symbol right here represents the moon. And you're going to look for in your chart what astrological sign this symbol was in. If you don't know how to find that information, I did create a tutorial video to help guide you to that information and to that understanding. It is available and the link that's popping up right now, and you can learn all about the information of your chart, or at least how to understand and read the chart from this tutorial video. So you'll watch the video and the advice for your moon sign for this reading. So if you want to support me, there are many ways to do that. You can comment on this, like this, share this, dialogue with me about this, help me learn what is working for you and resonating for you and what isn't. And you can also share it with people who you think might benefit from this guidance and information and this fun game that we play with the astrological cycles, our own astrology, and the spiritual support tools of the cards. You can also give me a financial donation at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. And you can sign up for any of my services at devotedandvulnerable.com/services. I do offer chart readings there. I do meditations. You can contact me for custom guided meditation. I offer tapping services, and I have a chakra meditation service as well. Those are ways that you can support me if you feel called. It is not necessary, but some people want to know how they can reach out and support me, and those are the ways. Also, let me just invite you in to watch Molly McCord's really amazing breakdown of what is going on astrologically the moment this eclipse happens in 16 degrees 1 minute of Taurus at 6:02 in the morning Eastern time on November 8th. If you want to learn more about where the planets are and what that means for you on a personal level, you can go watch her video. I'll link it here so that you can really learn more about the astrology of this particular moment. I watched the video. I thought it was super helpful and supportive, and so I'm going to guide you there if you want to study more and learn more about astrology and learn more about how this phase is going to impact you. So let's get started and find out what we are going to be celebrating when it comes to our values and our finances for this lunar eclipse cycle that is going to take us all the way into October of next year. So this reading is for you if the moon was in Cancer when you were born. If you're already familiar with that archetype, you can scroll ahead to the card reading. So the moon in the astrological story represents our emotions, and the sign that it's in represents how our emotions express. So your emotions express themselves through the Cancer archetype, which is represented by the crab. I always like to speak about the tough outer shell that the crab has and these really pinchy, sharp little claws, but the inside of the crab is this soft, squishy meat. And so this is what I like to think of when I think about the crab and the archetype of a crab, is that once you're inside the Cancer's shell, your family, your home, you're part of that, you have access to that soft, squishy interior. But until then, you're dealing with the pinchers and you're dealing with that tough, rough outer shell. And as a Cancer, that's an expression for you. You have this armor against the outside world, and you have this soft spot for those you've considered family and let into your heart. Cancers are cardinal energies, which means that they are initiatory energies. The cardinal energies always start a season. So Cancer starts the season of summer in the northern hemisphere. The element of Cancer is water, and water represents the emotional realm. So the moon in Cancer, you see here, has this beautiful crown because the moon rules the sign of Cancer. These two energies are very comfortable. The moon is at home in Cancer. Cancer's at home with the moon here. And that's why there's the crown, because this is the rulership. It's also known as what's called domicile, when a sign is in the planet of its ruler. And again, moon is not really a planet, but in astrological chart terms, it is. So your emotions are dependable, caring, loyal, emotional. Your emotions are emotional. Did you know that? And they're very responsive. So beautiful Cancer moons, you have such a gift to offer the rest of the zodiac. I always like to tell the emotional signs, like the emotional moon signs, that you have a gift to share with the rest of us, because not all of us have water alignments in our moon alignments. So like me, my moon's in Gemini. I have a mental emotional sphere, where you have an emotional sphere. So your ability to emote and to share emotions and to be sensitive and to be responsive and to be caring can model for those of us that have other elements in our moon energies. You can model for us the emotional realm on a deeper level and in a deeper way, which helps us to understand this archetype better. So let's get to your reading. So if you haven't already, taken a few deep breaths, called in your spiritual support team, and opened your heart to receive the guidance most aligned for you at this time, I invite you to do that. You can pause the video if you need more time, and let's find out what your guidance is. Ooh, my beautiful moon in Cancers. You got Ascended Masters. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. Okay. So, we're looking for how to celebrate our values and our physical world. And you, my beautiful moon in Cancers, are being invited over the next year to work with spiritual teachers. Now, again, it depends on what your understanding of the spiritual world is. It depends on what you consider to be a spiritual teacher, what direction you're going to go here. This card talks about ascended masters and has pictures of some ascended masters on it, but it may be a different spiritual teacher to you. It may be someone that is a science teacher for you. Like, you might actually want to learn more about someone who's scientifically based, and that's fine too. The point of this card is your spiritual support team, your support team wants you to know that there are teachers in the world out there for you. Now, this could be the physical world. We are talking about Taurus energy. We are talking about things that are present in the physical realm. And this card also talks about teachers that are present in the spiritual realm, in the world, in the realm of spirit, which is not physical, which transcends time. So, like, ascended masters are those who used to physically walk this earth, and then they ascended to the spiritual realm, but their knowledge, their wisdom, their support, their guidance is still accessible to us. So you're being invited into a deeper practice, a deeper learning, a deeper connection to these teachers. So whomever this may be for you, I would say pick one. Start with one teacher. And usually when you're working with a teacher, you'll know when your time with that teacher is up and it's time for a new teacher to come into your space, into your sphere. I'm really feeling very strongly Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene energy here for somebody. If you have a connection with those energies, you're being guided into work with those. But any of the entities on this picture, we have Krishna, we have Jesus, we have Buddha, we have Kuan Yin, we have other spiritual teachers that I don't recognize or know, but probably should. And that's how you celebrate. That's how you dive into your values. That's how you get grounded in this physical world, is by actually learning from some spiritual teachers. And again, you might be more comfortable with a teacher who's still alive and who deals only with science. That might feel more comfortable for you. That's fine. What the card is saying is that there are wise, powerful, loving teachers available to you. And for those of you who are a little bit more comfortable with the idea of a teacher in the spiritual realm, you're being invited to work with those teachers, to work with this energy. I'm tapping in to see here what else I can offer you, because I know this is a general reading and people are coming from all sorts of different areas and different belief systems. Just pick one, pick someone, pick something right now as you're watching this video. Like, take out a note card and write it down, or pause this video and really think on what teachers in history you've been called to, what teachings, and then just one action step of how you can deepen your relationship with that teaching, with that teacher now, today. And remember that this is a year-long cycle we're talking about, to the next lunar eclipse in Taurus in October of next year. So this is a year-long journey that you may spend with one teacher, that you may have to spend with multiple teachers. The Cancer energy is this beautiful, emotional, sensitive, dependable, caring, loyal energy. And this is what I'm hearing. You're being invited to invite a spiritual teacher inside that soft, squishy shell, right? As I was talking about in the description of the Cancer energy, they have this rough armor exterior, but that soft, squishy interior. You're being invited to invite, like you would a person, into your soft, squishy energy, the spiritual teacher. And again, it could be a physical person who's alive, who deals not even in the spiritual realm. They might be in the scientific realm or a different realm, and that's fine. The important part is to let yourself be guided, let yourself be supported by a teacher that you feel called to, that resonates with you, that lights you up, that excites you, that you feel loved and supported by. That's what's important here. So whatever and whomever that is to you, feel free to write down in the comments. That's a powerful, powerful way to call them in. If you are working with someone who is in the spiritual realm, what you can do is just intend to work with them, and then be open to the different ways that their energy, their archetype, their themes show up in your life. So for example, if you wanted to work with Mother Mary, you would just say, Mother Mary, I open my heart to you. I'm open to working with you. Please come to me and guide me. And then you would be on the lookout for Mother Mary themes. So if somebody was talking about, oh, I trained with Mother Mary before, obviously you'd want to learn more about that person and how they trained. But even something as simple as seeing a rose on perhaps a church that you've always noticed and felt called to go into, but you never really took the step to go into the church. But you see the rose, which is the symbol of Mary, and that guides you into that church. Or you smell the energy of a rose, or any other energies or archetypes of Mother Mary that show up in your space after you've asked her to be present with you. This is how you interact and communicate with her. It's very unlikely that you call her in and then all of a sudden you see an apparition of Mother Mary in front of you giving you guidance. That is very, very unlikely, because for lots of reasons. So there's different subtler ways that you can work with the energies of the Ascended Masters. You work with their themes, their symbols, you call them in, and then you wait for the synchronicities to show up in your life to help guide you into a deeper practice with this spiritual teacher. Reach out to me if you have questions about this. You can let me know what who your teacher is, and we can discuss different ways for you to connect with this teacher, because Moon in Cancers, it's time for you to let a spiritual, loving, powerful guide into your heart and into your lives as you celebrate what is valuable to you and as you ground yourself into this physical realm over the next year. Yeah? Comment, let me know how this is resonating with you, and as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.